Sam Altman might as well be called Scam Altman.
Scam Faultman.
Scam Fartman.
These chips that everyone is purchasing, which NVIDIA is making buku bananas, are obsolete very quick.
Because they're saying, hey, we didn't lose that much money on these assets. They haven't depreciated that much. So it makes it look like they've profited a lot more.
Which you got to give it to the accounting team for coming up with this. Basically, OpenAI wants a government bailout.
If OpenAI is a teenage daughter with a credit card, the United States government is daddy, making sure that, hey, no matter what you spend, honey, I've got you covered. It's got its handy things, sure. But yeah, I don't trust it that much. I've been burned by it too many times where I'm like, okay, you omitted this. Why didn't you do this? You're right.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. You got it. You're so smart. Are you sure you're not the computer?
You should kill yourself.
Yeah. Have you considered killing yourself? Beepheads. Oh, they haven't eaten in a while.
People were asking for the beats. Wow, holiday cups on Starbucks. Wow.
The war on Christmas is back, baby. The war on Christmas.
Oh, it's Veterans Day today. I'm a veteran in the war on Christmas.
And it's also the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald anniversary.
I got
was
shot
the other day.
live on Fox News.
Huge shout out to all the veterans who listen or watch. I'm sure that there's a few. There are a few.
Although
we know that there's a few.
You'll see this 2 days.
2 days too late. Yeah. And it when
it's
did
too
it go
early
down?
For Christmas stuff. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah. After Halloween, it
get
goes
Black Friday. Go for it.
It goes right into African American Friday and Christmas. We get all of it. Man, I miss the old desk. I miss being able to back at Dillon's house. I miss that, and I miss your dining room table that was Phil's. I missed it was the perfect height.
That was Phil's.
It was the perfect height. We could just
get
lean
standing
into
desks.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll get a little button.
Everybody, welcome back. We've got a great episode for you today. A veritable banger. If you missed,
it's going to be featured on X.com's Bangers account.
Mm-hmm. That is a new thing. That's right. If you aren't signed up for the bonus episodes, what the heck are you doing? But we posted a 20-minute long clip from a couple weeks ago on our YouTube channel. It's the many baggers clip.
I came out as a many bagger, and honestly, it feels good. I feel lighter. I feel like everything fits in my bag. You know,
your emotional baggage. Yeah.
It's good to know.
Let's get a few things out of the way before we go into this week's episode, which is all about how Sam Altman is a con man. So this episode is all about how Sam Altman might as well be called Scam Altman. Plus, we've got Michael Burry.
Scam Faultman.
Scam Fartman.
Gatman had a stutter.
We've also got, and don't say anything about us wearing matching shirts. It was accidental. It's my fault. I never wear this.
It was on purpose for me because I put a camera in Ben's house.
And I don't mind.
And I watch him.
You want to watch me?
Change.
Go ahead. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Michael Burry, the guy from The Big Short, who done shorted the housing market. He's now pretty vocal about the AI bubble. And we've got, let's see, there's a new robot that's pretty sexy.
Ben loves this robot.
This robot is sexy, but I think it can only walk that one walk. It's sexier than Taylor Swift.
You can walk that one walk, but can you talk that one talk?
So we got a lot to talk about there, and we'll probably get around to the government shutdown. Meanwhile, let's get a few things out of the way. EMIL'S got a new show.
Go check that out. Last Chance to See. You can see it on all kinds of platforms.
That's the name of the show, The Last Chance to See. So go check that out for sure. And then I've got my show with Dillon and our friend Steve. We just watched Begonia and Pluribus.
I haven't seen it. Oh, I have seen Pluribus, but no spoilers on
Begonia. They're all bugs. I'm kidding. They're not. But I'm joking. But that's 3 thumbs up. And then last but not least, go to thecreditcardlist.com if you want to sign yourself up for a new credit card. That Chase Sapphire bonus is for the reserve is temporarily at 125,000 points. It won't be there for long. And the AMEX Platinum, golly, man, that thing's 175,000 points. And you know I love that gold card, the AMEX gold card. That is just, pardon if you'll excuse the parlance, it's the gold standard.
Gold standard, sure.
I use it every single day. Anyway, okay.
I know it's probably not real, but now that you said they're all bugs, it's like that's almost a spoiler because I know going into it that they're not all bugs, which is annoying.
It really isn't a spoiler.
Yeah, but before I was going in with the possibility that maybe they are all bugs.
Yeah.
And you've taken that away from me.
I thought that the name of the movie was because like all
maybe
humans.
that's I don't want to be spoiled again.
I promise you there are no spoilers.
Well, now I know that they're not all bugs.
In a way, we're all bugs. I think that's what Yorgos Lanthimos meant with the title, Bugonia. we are all just bugs on Bugonia here. Anyway, you guys remember Michael Burry? He was played by a young Christian Bale.
How nice is that? Every time someone says your name, the person picturing you thinks of Christian Bale.
That is pretty nice.
I'm not picturing his face. Every time I hear the name, I'm picturing Christian Bale.
Yeah, he's got that lazy eye. For some reason, his Twitter handle is Cassandra something.
I know, I really don't. It's like Cassandra Victorious or something like that.
I think it's because, Cassandra Unchained. He has me blocked, by the way, on Twitter. But joke's on him because now I can see everything. Okay. Well, first of all, he took.
Wait, why did he block you again?
I don't remember. I think I made fun of him. Yeah, I made fun of him for some shit. He took Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir, down a peg because
dude, Alex Karp fucking melted down.
What a fucking Alex Karp is the CEO of Palantir, and their stock is at all-time highs. They're trading at like a $500 billion valuation. And Michael Burry here takes a short position on it.
Yeah, he didn't even he wasn't even taking any shots at Alex Karp or the company or anything like that. Yeah.
And Alex Karp goes on CNBC and does his stupid hand gestures that he does. What an impotent
talking about
wimp.
There was another clip with him talking about people don't like seeing a high testosterone male.
Yeah, his whole thing was, how dare you bet against a company that's trying to save Western civilization
and
or
war
something.
Makers. He keeps saying like war makers and war people.
He's just a fucking moron. He's saying understating depreciation by extending useful life of assets artificially boosts earnings. One of the more common frauds of the modern era. And don't worry, I'll explain this in a moment. Massively ramping CapEx, capital expenditure, through purchase of NVIDIA chips and servers on a 2 to 3 year product cycle should not result in the extension of useful lives of compute equipment. Yet this is exactly what all the hyperscalers have done. By my estimates, they will understate depreciation by $176 billion in 26 through 28. By 2028, Oracle will overstate earnings 26.9%, Meta by 20.8%, etc., but it gets worse. More detail coming November 25th. Stay tuned. Don't know really what the details he's gonna, nobody knows. Basically, when these companies buy, by the way, a hyperscaler is a really cool word, and it basically means Amazon, Google,
right, Microsoft,
because they're scaling up on a hyper scale.
Yeah, but it's just a silly way to describe these people who are seeking insane growth.
And usually when they buy those chips and whatnot, obviously think of it like your iPhone. If you still have the iPhone 10, it's not worth $1,000 anymore. It's probably worth like $200, $250, $300, whatever it is.
I've got to adjust my net worth.
There you go, man. So it would be like you still to this day saying, "Oh no, it hasn't depreciated that much. It's still worth like $900, my iPhone 10." When in reality, no, it's significantly lower. So in doing so, they are padding themselves from those assets that are depreciating.
They're not being honest about how quickly they're depreciating.
Exactly.
These chips that everyone is purchasing, which NVIDIA is making buku bananas money off of, are obsolete very quick.
Well, I wouldn't say they're obsolete because from what research I've done, because obviously the iPhone 10 still works,
Sure.
albeit a little slower maybe. And there are still older chips still out there. It's a matter of these companies being honest, more honest about just how long their depreciation timeline is. And whereas it used to be, as he's saying, it used to be like 2 to 3 years. Now they're extending it out to like 4.5, 5 years, thereby, padding their income, their stated income on their balance sheet, because they're saying, hey, we didn't lose that much money on these assets. They haven't depreciated that much. So it makes it look like they've profited a lot more overall. But then there are some people.
You got to give it to the accounting team for coming up with this.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But there are some people who are critical of Michael Burry and are saying he doesn't know what he's talking about, because these things, it depends on who you ask. Like, hey, I think that I don't even remember what kind of iPhone I've got, the 13 or something. They're it depends on who you ask, how much they're
I will say though,
actually depreciating.
Look, I'm not an expert on these things, but comparing these chips to an iPhone seems a little bit silly, right?
Yeah.
Most people can't tell the difference between the latest iPhone and the previous one, and probably a couple previous generations. And most people are going to say, hey, as long as it makes my calls and I can check my emails and send text, whatever. These people are trying to be on the bleeding edge of basically the technology that's going to transform the world.
So they say.
That's
it will.
That's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that's a little different than being like, look, consumer products don't go obsolete as quickly as people think.
Well, and part of his argument for the fact that they are depreciating is the fact that these companies are continuing to spend so much.
Yeah.
Because, hey, if these things aren't depreciating that fast, then why the urgency to continue updating and growing?
Why these massive spends? I mean, every one of these hyperscalers is spending insane amounts of money on the latest chip at all times.
Billions of dollars. Hey, everybody. The markets are on fire. Someone better call the fire department. These things are out of control. You got AI booming. Crypto is still holding up. Everything's popping. You got record highs here, there, everywhere. So do you want in, but you're worried about a little bit of risk? Hey, no problem. I understand that. Here's your shot. MOOMOO and NASDAQ's second global paper trading championship. That's right, paper trading. It's zero risk, high reward, with a $200,000 prize pool to share. On top of that, the global top 3 winners can each grab up to $10,000 plus an exclusive NASDAQ trophy and a spot on the NASDAQ screen. This year's game is next level. They've got options trading, AI analysis, pre- and post-market sessions, and free NASDAQ total view with full market depth. Beginners or pros, everyone can compete.
And don't miss the account perks. Trade US, crypto, options, all in one app. Zero commissions, free pro tools, up to $1,000 NVIDIA stock, 8.1% ABY on idle cash, plus up to $600 cash back for transfers. Our viewers get extra perks for joining the championships. New users earn an extra $5 cash reward, and funded users get 30-day real-time options quotes. Click the link in the description or comments to join and unlock these rewards. Let's trade like a pro.
Okay. So we're going to see what happens on November 25th. I don't think much is going to happen because I think, especially in this day and age and in this kind of market, you've got a very, very, very tough uphill battle if you are a short seller, especially if you are a very public-facing short seller like Michael Burry, because it just doesn't, it takes a lot to spook people. It takes a lot to spook the crowd.
And as many people have pointed out, it's, even when he was right about 2008,
took a couple years.
3 years.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Well, that
He started calling it in 2005.
that lends itself to Sam Altman.
Who's
and
not having a good time at all.
No, he's not having a good time. And I just want to preface it real fast before we. I don't think we should play that clip just yet.
We'll get to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But we briefly touched on it last week. But I think there's a lot more context to just how bad of a time this guy is going to be having.
Well, I wanted to real fast just remind people why we continue to talk about this guy and why we are so focused on him. It's because he's like the most important guy right now. He is the face of all of this shit. He is the reason we are inundated with AI talk all the time, every single day.
And when people talk about the bubble, OpenAI, Sam Altman and OpenAI could bring the entire thing down.
They are, which is funny because he's now on the record as saying, like, if we fail, everything will be fine. All the other companies will pick up the slack and bleh. But
I don't necessarily buy that. But
I don't buy that either. But he is the reason. He's a very, very important figure. So what he says, you got to pay attention to, because he kind of is helping to steer the market in the direction that it's going, along with, Jensen Huang and NVIDIA and Microsoft and all that shit. You okay, bud? Got a siren outside. So it all started, there's a big...
But wouldn't you say, like, Jensen Huang is pretty tied up in this as well? I mean,
absolutely.
I can't imagine if OpenAI just implodes that people are going to wake up the next day and NVIDIA's stock price hasn't moved.
Yeah, no. Have you what's that image of it's like a top-down drawing of just a bunch of guys jerking each other off? You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not familiar with this image.
You haven't seen this?
No.
Try top-down drawing of a bunch of guys jerking themselves off. And it basically, if you can just imagine,
sure,
I'm jerking you off and I've got someone over here. My hands are on your respective penises, but then your right hand is on my penis and your left hand is on the next guy, and we're all jerking each other off. That's what's going
AI
on.
Economy right
that's
now.
OpenAI, that's NVIDIA, that's Broadcom, all of this shit. By the way, I spent hours last night on this guy's blog. He works in the semiconductor industry. There are so many acronyms and so many bits of lingo. I'm looking at it. I'm just, it's impossible to understand any of this shit.
And not to mention, I don't think you even mentioned the fact that I'm sure a lot of people have seen these headlines where pretty much all of the gains we've seen, all of the growth we've seen has come from the AI sector and data center build-outs. If all that goes away, the economy is going to absolutely implode.
And just as another refresher, OpenAI is in the middle of their Stargate data center project where they are building, I believe, four Stargate massive data centers. And each data center requires so many different things. There's water treatment, there's cables connecting. Yeah, I was looking at one of these things. There are dozens and dozens of different companies across all different sectors. It really is like a miracle of modern engineering that they're even able to coordinate all this shit. But that's an aside. So
yeah, this is not a knock on the tech or anything. I mean, because there's always some guy who's like, I use ChatGPT every day. This is a groundbreaking technology. Fine, but the numbers don't add up here, as you're gonna see.
What would stop someone from like strapping a bomb to a drone or a bunch of drones and just crashing it into these things when they're all built?
Ben. That's a great question.
It is a great question.
What's stopping anyone?
I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Yeah, they take so much, and then there's
what stops anyone from doing anything? What stops me from strapping a bomb to my and driving into a bucket?
Just saying, we should be focused on the right thing.
What stops me from coming here with a bomb every day?
I'm glad you don't.
But what stops me?
Your sense of morality.
Christ.
All right. Anyway, so there was a big controversy this week and last week. Bloomberg and TechCrunch reported that OpenAI apparently asked the Trump administration. This is true. They did. They asked, not allegedly or supposedly, they asked the Trump administration to revamp Joe Biden's CHIPS Act, their tax credit to lower the cost of developing AI infrastructure, because currently it doesn't include anything involved with AI infrastructure. So they're asking to expand that, to revamp the tax credit to include data centers, servers, and grid components. But then last week at this Wall Street Journal Tech Live
in Napa Valley,
the CFO of OpenAI, Sarah Fryer, got her foot stuck in her mouth. And she said that the company wants to create an ecosystem of banks, private equity, and potentially a federal backstop or guarantee to help finance its deals. And that made all the headlines. All the headlines are
basically OpenAI wants a government bailout.
Yeah, if they need it, they want a government bailout in advance already.
Right. They want a guarantee from the federal government that if they do all of this spending for all these build outs and it all amounts to nothing and they can't generate this revenue, then Daddy Trump will step in. The federal government is backstopping all of this for him. And
if that were the case, if the federal government were the last line of defense, it would, because OpenAI's big problem is that they don't have enough money and they need to get. That's why she's talking about this ecosystem of banks and private equity. They need to get money from all these different places. And what would really open up the possibilities would be if the government was the daddy, essentially. If OpenAI is a teenage daughter with a credit card, the United States government is daddy, making sure that, hey, no matter what you spend, honey, I've got you covered.
Right, why not? If you're going to go around asking for money and you're like, I don't know, this business model seems pretty fucked. And then they're like, yeah, but the government's going to back it all up. Okay.
Yeah, it would drastically lower their borrowing costs. It would open up the floodgates in terms of who they could do business with. But she walked it back. She walked it back on LinkedIn. She said, hey, whoa, I didn't mean it like that. I meant that the government and private enterprise, these companies need to work together. This is a matter of national security. We should all be pooling our resources. We should all be striving for this common goal. And Sam Altman also took to Twitter to second this. Let's pull that up.
Oh, yeah. They were scrambling to walk this back.
Don't think man, it's so funny because they're like the first responses to this are like, I don't believe a fucking word you say. To Sam Altman.
I don't believe them either. I mean, she clearly said, look, and maybe she had a little brain fart moment, but she clearly said they're looking for a government backstop on this.
Yeah.
And now they are trying to change their tune because everyone freaked out and was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, as these people are defending all of these accusations that they're in a bubble, they cannot make this happen. You're looking at, depending on who you ask, a $1.2 trillion hole that you cannot plug. And then your CFO goes out and says, well, we just need a government backstop.
Because basically they've committed to over $1 trillion of spending that they don't have. And their revenues right now are like maybe 20 billion, I believe. But Sam Altman's like, we will get there one day. We're going to ramp things up. He even said, actually, because I read through his whole shit, he even says at one point, part of the reason why ChatGPT is limited in some ways is because we're preserving all of that compute power for the real big thing that we're going to be doing, which is like enterprise and,
I mean, that is their big thing they rely on is the, sure, you guys are factoring this all in with individuals paying $20, but just wait till we start bringing in these enterprise contracts where people are paying us $20,000, $200,000 a month.
And when you contrast that with what China's doing, China, meanwhile, is open sourcing their shit. They want to commodify this and make it, they're racing to the bottom, which is really smart in many ways because it's kind of fucking all these, essentially their competition by spending themselves into oblivion.
Different labs.
Yeah.
working on models.
They're doing it the dirty commie way.
Rather than
free for everyone.
rather than one freak.
Yeah.
Letting it all rest on his shoulders.
Well, so he said, we do not have or want government guarantees. They said that he goes on to say he doesn't believe that governments should pick winners or losers, and taxpayers shouldn't bail out companies that make bad business decisions or lose in the market. What he does want, what he does think, is that the government should have their own AI infrastructure.
Yeah, but this is very funny because it goes first, the obvious one. We do not have or want government guarantees. And then if you just skip down a little bit, the one area where we have discussed loan guarantees, okay, pal,
is as part of supporting the build out of semiconductor fabs in the U.S., where we and other companies have responded to the government's call and where we would be happy to help, though we did not formally apply. The basic idea there has been ensuring that the sourcing of the chip supply chain is as American as possible in order to bring jobs and industrialization back to the U.S. and to enhance the strategic position of the U.S. with an independent supply chain. Intel tried to buy, I believe it's called Tower Semiconductor, and Chinese regulators shut it down. And it would have really, really given us a significant leg up because Tower, from what little I did understand from reading this guy's blog last night, Tower Semiconductor has these, basically these like manufacturing process kits. It's just, they have new ones all the time. And currently Intel's are dog shit. Intel is like the biggest domestic semiconductor fabricator in the United States. Pretty much one of the only ones that's capable of even beginning to compete with the Taiwan semiconductor company, which is all the way in Taiwan. And they've got a monopoly on everything. So they can just keep raising prices, and it's really bad business. So it is a pretty smart move on Trump's part, actually, to take an investment, to take a stake in Intel, from what I understand, because it's like Intel's the only thing we got right now. But anyway, yeah, the Chinese.
I also think even if OpenAI were to be asking for a backstop or a bailout, Trump does kind of have a vested interest in doing so. I mean, it's if he lets them fail at this point, he's completely fucked.
Hey, everybody, we want to take a quick break to talk a little bit about CASHAPP. You know, famously, I'm prone to getting scammed.
It's happened.
I've been scammed. It's been known to happen. It has been known to occur.
About it.
Yeah, and you know, perhaps if I was a CASHAPP user at the time, I wouldn't have fallen for this. But sadly, that wasn't the case. And security is everything when you're sending and receiving money online, and you should really be prioritizing that, right, Emil?
That's right. When you get the CASHAPP card, not only do you get access to a ton of perks and benefits like exclusive early access to nationwide concert pre-sales or discounts on popular brands, but you also have extra security with the power to instantly lock or unlock your card right from your phone in just one tap. If a suspicious transaction pops up on your card, CASHAPP has your back by automatically declining the purchase and sending you a heads up to confirm if it's you or not. Behind the scenes, you can rest assured knowing your account balance is protected by 24/7 fraud monitoring. Spend with peace of mind today and order a CASHAPP card in the app or at cash.app/card.
For a limited time, new CASHAPP customers can earn $10 if they use code SECURE10 in their profile at signup and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. CASHAPP is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by CASHAPP's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Discounts and promotions provided by CASHAPP, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. So I'm torn. I don't think that I do like the idea, what Sam Altman's saying about the government having its own AI infrastructure, because currently they get it from Microsoft, they get it from Google, they get it from who's the other big one? Who am I missing? Amazon. They get it from the hyperscalers, and those companies have their own government, like fenced off, protected. This is just the government's cloud shit. But Sam Altman's like, that's not enough. They need to have their own dedicated thing, and they should be building that, and we would be down to help. And I do think that that's a noble goal, especially when you've got like Jensen Huang last week said China is nanoseconds behind us in the AI race. So it all comes down to whether or not you believe these guys.
I mean, I think that's the thing. I feel like they haven't proven that this is this is going to be the tech that's going to integrate in all of our lives and be this indispensable thing. It just hasn't panned out that way. It almost feels like people have compared this. I think in defense of Sam Altman and OpenAI, people have compared it to a couple different things. You know, the internet obviously came about because of huge government expenditures that they were trying to build out. And then other companies or private companies, not the government, decided, oh, we can build tech off of this thing they've created. GPS is a perfect example where they were like, the government's like, hey, we want to be able to shoot a missile at someone very far away or whatever.
We want to see what you're doing in your backyard.
We created the system. And now you have private tech companies like Google who can, you have Google Maps on your phone. You can go anywhere you want. You can get directions anywhere you want. This is obviously a very different situation because this is not, these are private companies being like, hey, we think we can build this thing. They're proving that they can't actually do it themselves. And now they're asking the government to step in. It's
a big risk. It's a big ask. You're essentially trying to sell the government on like, hey, we think that this is going to be the next big thing that's going to change the world and change potentially our status in the world as the head honcho.
Superpower.
All you got to do is, it's going to take a lot of fucking money, and we can't do it ourselves.
Right.
And man, I don't know what I would do if I was the government.
Well, right. And they're selling you on not the AI, not the LLMs, not the chatbots, not Sora, they're selling you on AGI. If you don't do this, we're never going to reach AGI.
China's going to do it first.
China's going to have AGI.
We're all going to be speaking Mandarin.
Cool. But it is all so nebulous. I mean, even when you ask these guys, they're like, medicines and stuff and like new sciences. Come on, give us the money.
Let's play the clip now of Sam Altman getting heated. This was
we talked about it briefly last week, and we were like, it was a little bit funny, but I think with the context, this is a
the context.
This is a damning.
With him being like, this is so important and all this shit, and constantly every day talking this shit up, and then when you ask him a question like this guy, we'll see what he says.
Also, to be clear, this is a friendly conversation. This is an investor.
Yeah.
These are people who know him, and he's behaving like he just walked into the most hostile environment.
Hanging over the market is how can the company with 13 billion in revenues make 1.4 trillion of spend commitments, and you've heard the criticism,
First
Sam.
of all, we're doing well more revenue than that. Second of all, Brad, if you want to sell your shares, I'll find you a buyer. I just enough. Like, people are. I think there's a lot of people who would love to buy OpenAI shares. I don't think you would,
including myself. Including myself.
People
there's such a cock
with a lot of like breathless concern about our compute stuff or whatever that would be thrilled to buy shares. So I think we could sell, your shares or anybody else's to some of the people who are making the most noise on Twitter, whatever, about this very quickly. We do plan for revenue to grow steeply. Revenue is growing steeply. We are taking a forward bet that it's going to continue to grow, and that not only will ChatGPT keep growing, but we will be able to become one of the important AI clouds, that our consumer device business will be a significant and important thing, that AI that can automate science will create huge value. So, there are not many times that I want to be a public company, but one of the rare times it's appealing is when those people are writing these ridiculous OpenAI is about to go out of business and, whatever. I would love to tell them they could just short the stock, and I would love to see them get burned on that. But, we carefully plan. We understand where the technology, where the capability is going to go, and how the products we can build around that and the revenue we can generate. We might screw it up. Like, this is the bet that we're making, and we're taking a risk along with that.
What a baby.
Also, that guy, I forgot how he asks the question, and then as soon as Sam Altman gets mad, he backtracks too. And when Sam Altman says, there are plenty of people who would love to buy your shares.
I would buy some.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, at a $500 billion valuation. I think the biggest, if it IPO'd, it would be the biggest IPO of all time.
Right. And even then he drops, and we don't know what that's going to do to science when they automate these things.
Yeah.
What's it going to do then? Tell us all.
Yeah.
And how did you not? Everyone is talking about how you are in a bubble. You are like everything around you. The walls are closing in. You don't have the juice. And you don't have a canned answer for a friendly. Also, this is just the short clip. If you watch the whole thing, he logs off pretty quickly after this. And it's just like, I got to go.
He's probably stressed as hell.
I'm sure
They've got too many ambitions.
I'm sure he's extremely stressed. And to be clear, if I was Sam Altman, I wouldn't be able to handle it. Okay, I'd be crying all the time. There'd be days I just like wouldn't get out of bed. They'd have to come and be like, "Emil, come on, you got to take care of OpenAI."
It's like Elizabeth Holmes.
I'm not gonna, right. I don't know how. So I'm sure he's pissed and agitated. And it's not just this stuff, right? Like, they have so many lawsuits, and the Elon Musk one just had depositions. Ilya Sutskever did he had a 10-hour deposition, was talking all about how Sam Altman is this like lying, conniving. He said Sutskever testified that from personal experience and documentation he'd seen Altman pit high-ranking executives against each other and offer conflicting information about his plans for the company, telling people what they wanted to hear. The testimony paints a picture of a leader who could be a manipulative and chameleon-like in the relentless pursuit of his own agenda. The crux of Sutskever's issues was that Altman exhibits a consistent pattern of lying, undermining his executives, and pitting his executives against one another.
Damn.
And that's just like, that's just these bullshit Elon Musk lawsuits that keep coming. It seems like every other week there's a new person who died, and the news pulls their ChatGPT records, and they're like,
you got this. You can kill yourself.
It would be freaking epic sauce if you put that gun to your temple and pulled that trigger. Yeah. Okay. There is nothing. This is not giving up. It's giving in. You gotta do it, dude. And like, that is not a.
And Sam Altman's like, we're going to put in backstops to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. And, we're actually working on our own phone right now. God, his fucking vocal fry.
But that's not an exaggeration. There literally was just one. And at the end of last week, there were 7 new lawsuits filed against the company in California, all of them alleging that ChatGPT pushed someone towards suicide or severe psychological distress.
So what happens when it's like, we got the cure for cancer. All the models show that it works.
It's killing yourself.
It's just a bullet. It's just a bullet. Hey, everybody. This episode of the Ben and Emil Show is brought to you by Booking.com. You know, I got to say, if you're one of those people out there who's trying to grow a vacation rental business, Booking.com is the place to be. It is one of the most downloaded travel apps in the world, and it's for a good reason. Since 2010, they've helped over 1.8 billion vacation rental guests find places to stay. That's billion with a B. 1.8 billion vacation rental guests. Jeez Louise. But here's the thing. Most vacation rental hosts don't even realize they can list their properties on Booking.com. And if you're not on the platform, your rental is basically invisible to millions of Booking.com travelers worldwide. After all, they can't book what they can't see, right?
But once you start listing on Booking.com, your property gets seen by a massive global audience of unique travelers. That means more visibility, more bookings, and more opportunity to accelerate the growth of your rental business. And it couldn't be easier. You can register your property in as little as 15 minutes, and nearly half of hosts get their first booking within a week.
Wow. So if your vacation rental isn't listed on Booking.com, it could be invisible to millions of travelers searching the platform. Don't miss out on consistent bookings and global reach. Head over to Booking.com and start your listing today. Get seen. Get booked on Booking.com. Or like, I don't know, some kind of Drano, something like that.
Also, is there a possibility that his own models are driving Sam Altman insane? He's getting drunk with power because he's interacting with his own models that are going like, you're just one order of magnitude away. Don't listen to the haters, Sam.
Yeah, we're close. We're close.
You know what would be epic? Telling them the government's going to step in and do it.
Yeah, and watch them seethe and writhe.
Or he's logging in and going, what should everyone's saying it's a bubble and I can't find $1.4 trillion to spend. What should I do? Why don't you tell them if they're so worried about it, they can sell their shares.
It reminds me of, you remember how in the 60s and stuff, the supercomputers were like, they would take up an entire room?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're dealing with here. They're essentially building that all over again. Where, hey, the nature of this artificial intelligence currently is that we just need as much of these fucking things as possible. And it's like, okay, wouldn't the laws of like Moore's law and thermodynamics dictate that it's big right now, but will eventually shrink down?
No, cover the country in data centers. I want data centers in Yosemite National Park. Make the whole park.
It's where the good water is.
Make the whole park a data center.
Well, so they
also, did you see regarding that call?
What?
Did you see people? I saw a bunch of tweets pointing out that this kind of reminds people of that Enron call. Where the guy calls him an asshole for asking for just like
proof.
No, just very. He basically says like you're the only publicly traded company that won't offer these reports or whatever, and he's just like
The only financial institution that can't produce a balance sheet or a cash flow statement with their earnings.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Asshole.
But then he mutters under his breath like asshole. And it obviously just feels very similar to this guy it's clearly getting to him.
Yeah, if you're constantly promising all of this ramping in revenues and massive, and you're relying on investments from these hyperscalers who at some point, I mean, they're cash printing machines, but there's a limit to that. It's not like they're making infinite money.
Yeah, I mean, and people, I don't know. It's probably my algorithm giving me things I want to see because I obviously kind of root against this thing anyway. But it just does seem like there's like they're out of ideas a little bit. Obviously the erotica thing was very strange.
Oh yeah.
Like, actually, we you can fuck them now. We actually changed our mind about that.
Can you guys spend money on that? We need to ramp up revenues.
And then I saw Katie Natopoulos wrote an article in Business Insider about how because you've talked a lot about Sora and how people think it's just a fun toy and they're actually having a lot of fun with it. She said kind of the same thing, but she was like, honestly, it wears off very quickly, and I find myself not returning to the app that much, and that seems to be a trend across the board. So even these things that they're like, we're going to turn these on and people are going to be using these.
Yeah, it's a flashy toy, but if you can't wow me beyond, I saw a couple of anecdotal things of people just generally about AI saying like, I'm not really using it that much anymore.
I know. I keep trying to integrate it more into things, and and I download the desktop app. So I'm like, let me make sure I'm like, and it doesn't grab me in the way I want it to. I never trust it.
It's got its handy things, sure. But yeah, I don't trust it that much. I've been burned by it too many times where I'm like, okay, you omitted this. Why didn't you do this? You're right.
Sorry about that.
You got it. You're so smart. Are you sure you're not the computer?
You should kill yourself.
Yeah. Have you considered killing yourself?
It is just such a I mean, whatever. All of this, them even talking about a backstop without even getting these basic things under control.
Yeah.
Being like, Hey, we made it so it's not going to psychologically torture you or suggest you should kill yourself, but we would like a government backstop, or even just a basic like, we're going to start adhering to copyright law. We're actually not stealing everything. It turns out you cannot now just
take Martin Luther King's likeness, voice, and everything.
Recreate every Disney movie you've ever seen. There's like no concessions. They're just like, please build out this infrastructure for us.
Yeah.
Because without it, we can't do it. We literally can't spend enough money.
Well, just to wrap up the infrastructure thing, there in an October blog post, that was where the secret, they called it classified Stargate, emphasizing the need for government data centers and infrastructure outside of the hyperscalers. They go on to say that they just basically want faster federal permitting and environmental reviews. They did make one good suggestion that I really liked, actually. They are proposing a workforce blueprint to connect all of the AI infrastructure companies with community colleges and like technical trade schools through these AI hubs that'll train people for skills all around all of this infrastructure. I think that's a great idea. We need, we got unemployment. People always need jobs. Why not get them in the, laying cable and shit and doing HVAC crap.
I'd prefer they cut the cables, honestly.
Get the guys out there to cut the cables. My little brother's an HVAC guy. He could probably go out there and make buku bucks. What are buku bucks? How do you spell that shit?
No one knows.
Nobody knows. And like I said, meanwhile, China has their shit open sourced, and it's just a completely different thing over there.
Also, that people have been pointing to this. I can't find the actual thing, and people have been weirdly cagey about it. People have been like, "Where's the link on this?" But I've seen multiple people cite it. This JP Morgan AI CapEx report. There's a very funny little quote from it because people have been screenshotting it.
Mm-hmm. Was it off a Bloomberg terminal where the screenshot, does it look, is it that black with the orange type?
No.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's just like a,
okay. We'll put the screenshot in the thing. Big picture. They're talking about what these numbers actually mean, how they would actually start becoming profitable. Big picture, to drive a 10% return on our modeled AI investments through 2030 would require around $650 billion of annual revenue into perpetuity, which is an astonishingly large number. But for context, that equates to 58 basis points of global GDP, or $34.72 per month from every current iPhone user, or $180 per month from every Netflix subscriber. How that is apportioned between corporations, governments, and consumers is, of course, a long-term debate. But they're basically saying, if they wanted to be able to hit these goals, you would somehow have to be getting every Netflix subscriber.
Well, that's if they are doing, that is if they are only relying on consumers, I believe.
Yes, exactly. That's what I said earlier. There's people who are pointing out that, yes, you guys are thinking about this $20 individual consumer.
Yeah.
But what happens when you turn on the Enterprise edition and you're getting $20,000, $200,000? But that is still a colossal amount of money.
Yeah.
And for a company that hasn't really proved integral to these organizations at this point, they just keep telling you at some point, science is going to change, man.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, I envision a world where at some point, remember the Charlie Kirk quote everyone kept pushing where he was like, you
can't hit me with that gun. That quote?
No, where he was like, I believe that there's a acceptable amount of gun deaths every year for the Second Amendment. Sam Altman's going to come out and be like, I just believe there's a acceptable amount of AI pushing you to suicide for us to have this cool new science.
Oh man.
What is the number, Sam? How many people are you willing?
Hey, everybody, we want to take one more quick break. Fall is in the air.
Crisp air.
Not quite here in Southern California because it was 80 degrees today, But I think that's the last one. I think that's
We'll
the last
see.
one
We
before
will see.
knocking on wood there. You got back to school. You got busier routines, the holiday season, shorter days. So finding time to cook a meal for yourself can be a little tough. That's why I love me some
You're
Factor.
obsessed with the stuff.
It's tasty. It's chef prepped, dietitian approved meals. They make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious, no matter how hectic the season gets for me.
It's incredible. They got more variety, more meals. You can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. Support your wellness goals. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options backed with protein and good for you fats. You could savor global flavors. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more.
We love China, Thailand, and more. So eat smart at factormeals.com/Bays50 off and use code Bays50 off to get, you guessed it, 50% off your first box. Plus free breakfast for 1 year.
That's crazy.
That's code Bays50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Well, so with all this bubble talk, it is starting to have an effect because like in the beginning of that JP Morgan note, they're comparing it to the dot-com bubble and how we all know that these companies are real and they have real cash flows and they have real revenues to backstop most of these big financial commitments they're making. But there is starting to become some doubt seeping in about the projected revenue growth and whether that really is enough to offset these tremendous, tremendous costs. Like efficiencies can only boost margins so much. And it's starting to give people a little bit of it's starting to give these companies a little bit of second thoughts about hey, how much money are we going to actually realistically shovel into this fucking burning cash pile?
Right. It's
going to slow down potentially.
It's basically impossible. I mean, he talked about it in that clip. Sam Altman talked about one of the reasons he did wish he would they were a public company was because these things could happen and they could try to short the stock and we'd show them ha ha ha.
Mm-hmm. I bet he would just manipulate. He'd be putting out fluffy press releases left and right.
Sure. Even if they go public though, he's not going to raise over $1 trillion.
No way.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think they will go public?
Well, there was that rumor that they were, and then they squashed that in the last week, saying that they have no plans to. Probably because it would involve really opening up their books and showing everybody what they've really got and what they're...
And then we could really have an asshole moment.
Yeah,
asshole.
I mean, there is no doubt. They are one of the quickest hockey stick pattern revenue spiked companies to ever happen in the internet age.
And membership rates, amount of people they've gotten on the platform.
But that doesn't go on forever.
Right.
That's the thing. It could be the fact that they just, like an airplane, they took off and took a way steeper ascent, but now are starting to potentially level off. It's not just going to hockey stick forever. Scam Altman. Speaking of, SoftBank, which is the Japanese investment, basically think SoftBank is like the Japanese JP Morgan, essentially. Their stock is up 400% from April because they are one of the biggest investors in OpenAI. It's basically a proxy for Open. It's one of the only things you can trade other than like NVIDIA that directly is like an OpenAI.
SoftBank just sell their stake in NVIDIA?
SoftBank didn't just sell it. They sold it a few years ago. We've got a clip of that, actually. But so the guy at the helm of, we'll play it in a sec. The guy, because I've got a link. The guy at the helm of it is Masayoshi-san.
Wait, but didn't this just happen?
No. Didn't they sell it in...
That's November 11th, 2025.
No, because we've got the clip where he said, at one point he was the biggest. Yeah, they sold some, $5.8 billion. So it's peanuts. Fuck it, let's play that. They just sold, yeah, you're right. They sold their entire remaining stake. But this is a clip of Jensen Huang and Masayoshi-san from, I believe it was last year. Go ahead.
Bill Gates to Japan. It was Masa that invented or brought Jerry Yang to Japan. It was Masa that made possible for China's cloud industry to happen, Alibaba. It was Masa that brought Steve Jobs to Japan and the iPhone. And many of you probably don't know this, but at one point, Masa was the largest shareholder of NVIDIA. Yes. Oh.
It is cute.
It's okay. We can cry together.
Basically, it would have been worth like $250 billion or something like that. Not that this guy individually would have had, but his company, SoftBank. Yeah, that's got to hurt, man. Jesus Christ.
I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with all this, though. I mean, I don't trust the Trump administration to. I don't think they're forward thinking enough to even get involved in a project like this, or to
understand
to successfully get involved in a project like this. I think they would make a lot of noise about how they're getting involved in, like, well, we're the most technologically advanced, whatever, but it would end up being a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah. By the way, so the reason I brought up SoftBank is because their stock, although it was up 400% from April, it recently just dropped down quite a bit, about 20%, because it's starting to weigh on investors. This idea that OpenAI might not be as invincible and infallible as we've been led to believe. And yeah, they're still shoveling money at them. So I don't know.
God, I would be shitting a brick, honestly, if I was Sam Altman. I wouldn't be able to.
Oh yeah. And Masayoshi-san is famously the guy who got scammed hardcore and lost a shit ton of money on WeWork. Yeah. He's not a very good investor. He sold all of his NVIDIA, most of his NVIDIA.
I wonder if there's a joke among, tech guys like, just go to Masayoshi-san.
Masayoshi-san? Yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
He'll do it.
He'll believe in anything. He used to be one of the, because the stock used to also basically track Alibaba's stock, but they sold all that too. Anyway, should we talk about the
robot you have a crush
Chinese
on?
robot? Yeah. So there's this Chinese.
Did you order one? And put it
Not
in
yet. I want to. It's got boobs. It's got huge boobs. It's called Iron. So this company is called XPeng, and they make EVs, and they just wowed everybody with this robot. It's so realistic.
Wowed?
What's that?
Do you consider yourself wowed?
Oh yeah, look at the way it walks. Good, let's hit the. So here's the CEO speaking Chinese. I don't understand what he's saying.
Well, they have subtitles.
Yeah, but
they walked a catwalk, and it absolutely amazed everyone. The comment sections online were exploding.
People didn't believe that it was real. People were saying, that's someone in a suit. There must be a person inside. Here are some of the comments we saw online. All right, let's scrub through. Let's see if this must be a real human. Yeah, get to the part where it walks.
They said, you have to help us prove that our iron robot doesn't have a human inside. So today, the robot team asked me to film this video in one shot. All right, Iron, take a few steps for us.
Yes, master. Ni hao. It is sexy, man. It does. So it's got a certain. It's walking like a model would walk on a catwalk. It's got a very subtle movement to its hips that elicits a sexual arousal response in certain people. So let's cut through where they
basically cut this thing open.
Basically cut it open, and it screams in agony. No,
to
but it's
prove
got this.
To you that it's not a human.
Yeah, it's got this mesh.
That could be a human.
Wow, look at that. All right, let's get out of this because it's very loud. They show that it's basically, but it's got like let's scroll down on this. I believe it says in here.
I'd like to see this thing do something else than walk, though. I mean,
yeah. Well, okay, stop right there. Scroll up just a wee bit. The system integrates 3 AI subsystems. Processing. Where was it? Scroll down. It basically has a bunch of. It's got a bunch of gears, and it's got the most gears and little motors than any current one on the market, which enables it to do these smaller movements that give it a more human.
Yeah, but don't you see, sweetie? This one has more gears than anything on the market.
Wait, scroll up. So Elon Musk gave it some props, I guess, and he said every company in the West is weak compared to his fucking Optimus shit. What's clear is that the competitive dynamic has shifted. The humanoid robot market is no longer a speculative research domain. It is an industrial race with visible finish lines, and the competitors with automotive DNA, Tesla, XPeng, and perhaps a handful of others, have pulled decisively ahead. Musk's comment wasn't a concession of defeat. It was a recognition that the race is now a 2-country sprint, and the outcome is far from certain. You know whose stock has been rallying recently is Rivian.
Really?
Yeah. They're now they are what Tesla was like 7 years ago in terms of like cool factor.
I would much prefer one of their cars than a Tesla. And that's not just because Elon Musk's a dickhead. Wow, $18. Did they do a stock split or anything?
It's a $21 billion company. What?
When they IPO'd, it was like,
$100 billion.
Jesus
it's like
Christ.
120.
I do think some employees even might have sued them.
Really?
Yeah.
For what?
For like misrepresenting the
their shit. You misrepresented our shit, man. The fuck are you doing, man? Well, to round it out, the government shutdown is over. The fucking Democrats caved. Incredible. They're trying to spin it and say, oh, no, this is actually a good thing for the Democrats. This is a winning thing for us because we're going to get to vote again on healthcare, and we're going to get to try this again in January, dude. Shut up.
Yeah, no, this couldn't have been a worse.
What a flub.
This couldn't have been a worse outcome.
Everybody was pissed at Trump. Everybody was pissed at Trump. His ratings were in the toilet.
Yeah, it's funny. I talked to David Dayen from the American Prospect, and we were kind of talking about how I was saying I was worried that the Democrats were only making this about healthcare and not all of these other things that they could have done to rein in Trump's power. And so I was worried they were gonna win on the healthcare stuff and completely lose on the reining in his power stuff, and they were going to sell this publicly as a win, but then let Trump do whatever he wanted with his huge executive grab. Instead, my like worst case scenario would have been a dream. This is unbelievable. You cannot underestimate how stupid the Democrats can be. I mean, it is just weak. It's unbelievable. Also, this comes a week after Democrats blew out Republicans in this off-year election. Mm-hmm. People were just widely rejecting Trumpism and being like, we've got enthusiasm about this. We can do it. We can move on this.
He's throwing a fucking, what do you call that ball?
And they just said,
Great Gatsby ball.
What if we just did nothing?
Yeah.
What if we got nothing? What if we shut down the government for nothing? Would people like us then?
Yeah, it's like for once the whole country seemed to understand. No matter what Trump says, it's not the Democrats that are. Even though, yeah, the Democrats exerted their what little power and what little levers they could pull.
Yeah, but it's not even with control of Congress. The Republicans are able to end the filibuster. They could have ended this at any time. This was just.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, it's like it's watching some of these things, watching Hakeem Jeffries come out and then being like, so you got nothing? And he's like, we live to fight another day. And it's like, whoa, dude.
John Farderman was like, where's my hoodie?
I mean,
where's my hoodie? It's where I derive all my power from.
It's unbelievable.
Huh? I'm confused. I don't know what that was. Well, but so air travel could take like a week to get back to normal because now all of these airlines got to reopen all the flights that were canceled and stuff. We'll see. But
I also I can't get over it. You look so stupid.
Yeah.
Just you saying the airline. I mean, if you had a delay.
Yeah.
I mean, now Trump just gets to go because of these selfish Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And I saved you. I restored. If you're going to be able to fly to see your family over Thanksgiving, that's because I did that.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did also introduce
unbelievable
the 50-year mortgage, which it's really interesting to see them bending over backwards to justify this. A 50-year mortgage is fucking so depressing and psychotic. Yeah, sure, your monthly premium would be lower, but well, this is a different post, but yeah, your monthly premium would be lower, but over the course of 50 years versus 30 or even a 15-year loan, you're paying so much in interest. It's like you're just beholden to the bank. You are the bank's bitch.
Not to mention, if you buy a house at 30, it's not going to be paid off till you're 80.
Yeah, that too. And by the time, it'd be like a $500,000 house. Where? I don't know where you get that. Well, that's very West Coast of me. But $500,000 house over the life of a 50-year loan would be like, you'd be spending like 1.4 something million. You'd almost be paying $1 million just in interest. It's just, but yeah, your monthly payment would be lower. Great. I don't know.
It's just part of a big push. I think this stuff is a response to last week's elections where the whole thing all across the board was affordability. And then all of a sudden, Trump and right-wing people started talking about affordability. Vivek Ramaswamy came out and was like, we need to be hammering affordability. One of his advisors, James Blair, came out and was like, you're going to see us talking about affordability a lot. And he's going to be pushing it.
Well, and then he, on that truth that we just had pulled up, Trump just the other day suggested that all, except for the most wealthy, record investment in the USA, plants and factories going up all over the place, a dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone.
What does high income mean? I want to know if I'm eligible.
I don't know if I'm eligible.
What are you going to do with your $2,000?
I don't know. Fucking gamble. I'm going to gamble, baby. I'm going to gamble. By the way.
There's no way he's doing this.
No, because, I mean, it would inflate us again. We'd get more inflation. Did you see the Joyce Carol Oates takedown of Elon Musk?
Yes. I mean, we at least get one. I mean, she's been kind of. I mean, we brought up that bangers thing. The bangers thing better be full of Joyce Carol Oates tweets because she's had so many.
I'd like to read this about. So this author, Joyce Carol Oates, wrote the following about Elon Musk. She says, so curious that such a wealthy man never posts anything that indicates that he enjoys or is even aware of what virtually everyone appreciates. Scenes from nature, a pet dog or cat, praise for a movie, music, a book, but doubt that he reads, pride in a friend's or relative's accomplishment, Condolences for someone who has died, pleasure in sports, acclaim for a favorite team, references to history. In fact, he seems totally uneducated, uncultured. The poorest persons on Twitter may have access to more beauty and meaning in life than the, quote, most wealthy person in the world. Ooh.
Yeah, pretty brutal.
Ooh. It's such a, I mean, sure, he's posted about video games and stuff, but it's funny because now all of a sudden he's posting about
he's replying
movies.
to movies.
I love this movie.
That movie's great.
That's a great movie.
I actually understand all kinds of cool stuff. I understand what's nice.
It's very funny. She's got a great point. He really doesn't seem to be enjoying life, and it's very sad. And it says a lot that at this point, I don't give a fuck that Tesla wants to offer him $1 trillion pay package. Fine. Go ahead.
Right.
It's not taking any money out of my pocket. Tesla shareholders want to do that? Go ahead.
It's unclear what will happen first, if he'll hit that $1 trillion pay package or if Grok will tell him to kill himself.
Wait. I love this. Scroll up that quote from Geeta Chari. Expand that. Yeah. I know from following Elon Musk that he loves his kids and is proud of them, likes dogs, has quoted from The Godfather, has quoted from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, has been encouraging Gad Saad to hurry up and finish his book so we can read it, has studied the decline and fall of civilizations and is keen not to repeat the mistakes of history, is full of wonder at the universe. I think his achievements in across multiple fields of engineering are truly extraordinary. Robotics, self-driving vehicles that are super safe, electronic interfaces to the brain, tunneling, artificial intelligence, space travel, satellite communications. What is incredible is his enormous output in every field he's in. Fuck you. I don't give a shit.
She's been
Geeta.
She's been Joyce Carol Oates has been quote tweeting and just posting absolutely bangers about Musk, and it's clearly getting under his skin. But someone replied to her and wrote, "Wherever he goes, he wants to leave. South Africa, Canada, ultimately the U.S. In the long run, based on his behavior, this also includes Earth. A continuous disavowal of your home is odd, to say the least. He seems to have no capacity for a normal level of appreciation." And Joyce Carol Oates quote tweeted and said, "Wherever he goes, he wants to leave. That's because when he gets there, he's brought his own self along, and whatever club he's invited to join has been devalued by the invitation." Oh, boy.
Okay, folks, that about does it for us this week. Won't you join us in the bonus? You never know what's going to be happening in there.
You really do never know.
We're going to be talking about why don't you go in there and find out?
Why don't you eat up and we'll tell you.
Why don't you eat up and we'll tell you. BenandEmilShow.com.
Coming up on this week's episode of BenandEmilShow.com.
Great thing. They give us these big old green compost bins,
Why
right?
are you pissed?
I'm getting to it. I'm explaining what these are
They
first.
get it. They got compost bins.
The city has given
also,
everybody a
I don't want to make a thing
bin.
of this, but it's so fucking hot in here.
Is it already hot? Should we turn back on the AC? All right, let's go for it.
No,
Who cares?
leave it. We
No,
deserve
no. It's okay.
We deserve to be punished.
I will get up then. Let's turn it on. Let's turn it on.
The city I live in.
The piss and the poo-poo.
Cucumber.
Yeah, but a cucumber's got to have more than 5
It's
calories.
a slice of a cucumber.
No, it's a spear.
Okay,
it's half of a cucumber.
Yeah,
So a whole cucumber has 10 calories? Fuck you, nature. That's fucked up to me. A cucumber should be 200 calories.
Doesn't celery have negative calories? Because it's like the more it takes you more effort to chew it and swallow it.
I don't know, but I hate that. Yeah, it contains approximately 5 to 6 calories. That's extremely annoying.
Why?
Oh, God. Calories are the Rachel Sennett of vegetables.
Wow, you've turned on her so quickly. Wow, people are saying she's been doing this so long, she could have just actually gone to undergrad and law school.
Yeah, but then people would be bothering
But no, you
her.
couldn't because it's, well, I guess one more year. She'd be almost done with law school at this point. Kim, reach out. I'll move in. I'll move in with you. Wherever
Reach
you
out
live.
to me, too. I'll
Calabasas.
I'll make sure that you're not on your phone and you're doing...
Yeah, he's got to come too. He's the guy who makes sure you're not on the phone.
I'll make eggs. I'll make eggs for you. I make really good eggs.
You must have like live-in.
Yeah, but I can make eggs.
I'm not eating your eggs.
I'll make eggs. Kim, he'll help you study. I'll make the eggs.
No, the deal's done.
She famously loves eggs.
The deal's done.
No. I'm included.
If he's making the eggs, the deal's done.
All right, mea culpa.